Test, test, 1, 2, 3, check, check, check. We'll be starting here shortly. Okay, we've got some video coming up. We'll be starting here. I just want to confirm that we've got the video. Yes, we do. All right. And let's see. Got to put my fancy high dollar gear here. Make sure that you can see me. Ha! It's working. Okay. All right. Let me make a few more adjustments here. There we go. All right. And one-man show here, so I just got to check things out here. Let me do a quick howdy. Make sure that I've got everything posted here, and then we'll be starting the rebroadcast here shortly. All right, I think I got it. Okay. All right. Welcome back to Average Angler Life, also Reelcast Fishing Podcast. So I'll restream this one via Spotify once this is all done, so that you can listen to it on your commute to and from your day job, possibly. Hint, hint, that's what I do at times as well. Listen to different podcasts on the way to work. Anyhow, this round we're talking about the Blue River, Oklahoma. It was yesterday, in fact, where I went there and did a little fishy and caught a few trout, actually limited out on trout. It took all day, but I ended up getting the limit. Pretty fun time as well. Let me see if I can adjust this. Okay. So with that, what I'd like to do in these rebroadcast streams, normally I'll do this live where I have my mobile phone and I'm just fishing away and you're able to see the action as it happens. In the case where I'm in low coverage or no coverage, like in the case of the Blue River, I will take out the action camera and kind of cobble the videos together, render it, and just, post them here so you can see the whole thing. I've not done any edits to this other than clip them together and rendered it. So I'm hopefully giving you the full Monty of what it felt like yesterday when I went fishing. Other than that, I also wanted to talk about some key takeaways, since the motto is to learn to fish by my trials and errors. Well, I've got some trials and errors to throw at you from this round, fishing the Blue River in Oklahoma. And that may also apply to other places that you may decide to fish. So with that, let me go ahead and start things off and let the video do the talking. All right, bear with me. Okay, we made it back to the Blue. It's Saturday, November 21, I think? 22. November 22. Okay, we've checked in online, so we're here. We're in regs. I got the center pin outfit along with the band fishing fly, and we're going to see how it does today. I'm going to try doing mainly center pin fishing today, but I did bring the TFO 6-weight just in case. So, wish me luck. And do join me. I'll restream this one later on, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, depending on how this day trip goes. All right. All right, we're going to start over here by used crossing, low water crossing. We'll check it out and let's see what it looks like. All right. I think it's also deer season here, but it's not too bad. Got a nice mix of folks out here camping as well as doing some day tripping, it looks like. I can hear the water flowing. We did have a lot of rains the other day, so I was hoping to let it rest today and let it clear up a little. So it looks like from here, it looks like things have cleared up. So let's go ahead and walk up there and check it out. Now, I've got the polarized glasses on. Good news there, and I'm probably going to have to practice a little bit of my center pin casting here. It's been about a couple of weeks or so since I pulled the rod out. And actually, I pulled out the other one, same outfit, but I'm doing this one different. I'm putting the line down here on the bottom instead of up top because I saw how someone had suggested trying that method. So we'll see. All right, here's used crossing, and there's the low water crossing. We should be there here shortly. All right, and I've got it set pretty deep right now, about 4 foot. I got a lot of folks over there down downriver. Oh, looks like the sandbar is back. Oh, look at that. There we go. One thing I wanted to call out was it would rain pretty hard the day before into the evening. In fact, there was a little bit wet areas and whatnot on the drive up. But notice the river, it's cleared up fairly quickly, even though it's been raining, possible flash flooding. So, hey, heads up, things can change quickly on the blue. So, you know, play it by ear. If the weather worsens on you, maybe give it a day or so, and things will be already picking up. And in this case, they already picked up. And oh, by the way, they did stock, I believe, Thursday. So this was Saturday. So basically 2 days before, they just stocked the Blue River. They're stocking it weekly. So bottom line, give it a try if you have the opportunity, if you're in the area. And if you do catch anything, do send some pictures or maybe some tips and tricks that's working on your end as well. Yeah. I got folks in the sandbar now. Looks like there is a sandbar again. Full beans. All right, water's nice and clear, very clear. I'm liking it. Let's go to the rock and see if we can coax a fish or two to strike. There's the view downriver, view upriver. Oh, water flow is really nice. I like it. Look how clear that water is too. There's that center pin outfit I'm using. And let's just check it out and see what happens. Look at this. This is awesome. All right, cool beans. Okay, we're just coming up behind here. See if I can work my way over to the rock. I'm gonna start over here. Temperature's about low 40s this morning, so I got a couple of layers of clothing on here, and then as it warms up, I'll probably shed some of the gear. But right now, I'm just gonna see if we can get something on this band fishing fly as part of that monthly lure challenge I'm partaking in. All right, let's get up there. Pretty much just dead drifting it here, taking it through this hole, and I'm making sure that the bobber is kind of leaning backwards so that. So I'm using center pin gear, and you're supposed to, well, it's supposed to be a drag-free means to get your bait, your lure, in this case a fishing fly, into the area. Unfortunately, the current's fairly slow at this particular location, so I'm not being able to get that drift that I was looking for. I do see trout moving about. I have my polarized glasses. There's trout moving in and out in this area. Just forward of this, upriver, there is a number of trout as well lurking, and it'll be frustrating for yours truly because the bite just wasn't happening for me yesterday morning. But hey, persistence, that's the key. I know that my fly is actually leading in front of the bobber. Trotting is what I learned that's called. Okay. And I've got it pretty deep right now, about 4 or 5 feet. Actually, I think it's more like 4 foot right now. Okay. Just kind of letting it drift along. So that was what it was like that morning. In fact, let me go ahead and bump up a little bit here and take you to another spot where I go across river. And I was talking with the individual on the other side. He was having the same issue. The trout were looking. They were all over the area. I'm probably just a rough estimate. There's at least 50 trout in this particular section. And none of them wanted my fly. As well as the other individual had tried different baits as well. And, well, they just were closed mouthed for some reason.
and see if I can get it into the money zone here.
And what I'm going to show you here is this center pin technique that I'm trying to learn
here. Let me fix that real quick.
Where you're using this particular reel that has no drag, and there's a certain way you cast it.
Let's get this cast going. And let's see if we can coax one of these guys to strike. Alright, well, didn't get it as far as I wanted.
Still learning.
See if I can get it to go the other way. Oh, there's one looking at it right now. Okay. Looks like we got some promising.
This other technique that they said to try was the Wallace cast. So I started getting
another cast in.
At least proficient with it. Yeah. But unfortunately, after a while, I got kind of tired and I was messing up and did a lot of backlashes.
Do it again.
Okay. So yeah, that's I think it's a forward way of casting it, and it wasn't working well.
I remember now. Here we go.
Let's see if I can bump it over.
Like that. There we go.
A little bit further out. Let me go ahead and skip it around.
Nice one, just looked at it.
Okay. Yeah, center pin's a pretty fun way of fishing, but you probably want to focus more on things that are downriver.
All right, wait. There we go. Okay, that's better.
No, it's not a fly reel. It's called a center pin reel. It looks just like a fly reel, but instead there's no drag and whatnot. Special rod, or is it a fly rod? They call it a center pin rod. I'm just repurposing my switch rod as a fly rod. I'm repurposing it because I do like the extra butt section that's on there, as well as the forward grip is easy to hold and get your cast out there. Alrighty, and once I get the hang of it and I'm using that Wallace cast, I'm actually casting the float basically almost across the river, and I'm hitting this one particular location. Let me see if I can show you with my cursor right here. Here's my cursor. This whole section up here, there's trout just lingering right there. I can see them coming about, some really nice ones. Later on that day, I did see some other folks catching some that were, I would say, some pretty good ones. 14, 15-inch bruisers, I call them, because they're a little bit heavier set than some of the other stalker trout that I've caught in the past, both here in Oklahoma as well as in Texas, where I'm located. Okay, but let me go ahead and keep going and see if I can get it to the point where I can show you that switch cast, or correction, the Wallace cast.
Fishing fly. I think from my over the shoulder. I think I seem to do better in that direction.
This is the Wallace cast.
Oh yeah, much better.
Okay, and the mistake I was making was I need to make sure I keep my hand going all the way from back,
so let me fix
all the way back up to the
Hopefully I don't get
to the reel itself.
Fixing it. I didn't put as much line as they say to put on here.
And the main reason being that backlash, because it will spin. It has no drag. And what's cool though is because it has no drag, I can get that float streaming downstream with no drag at all. I can keep it in line with the bubble line, as well as what they call trotting, where your float is actually at an angle. Let's say the water is flowing in this direction. You want it to angle this way, because what that means then is you're presenting your bait, your lure, your fly ahead of the bobber or the float, and not possibly spooking the fish. What's favorite fish to catch? Oh, I like trout. I like striped bass, saltwater, pretty much any of the saltwater fishes. I'm not picky. I'm still in the quantity phase though. Yeah, I love to catch some big fish and whatnot, but a fish every cast gets me going. Alrighty. All right, so let me skip this over some more, and let me see if I can get you to the point. There we go.
Getting it well past mid-river.
Yeah, that's a good one to show you.
After a few tangles here and there.
Bump it up again.
All right. Moment, just a buggy-looking thing. Oh, there's one looking at it now.
So yeah, I had a lot of them looking at
Looked
it,
at it.
and that was the problem. They would look and turn away, and some of the
Kind of see
lessons
if I can drift it
learned,
along here.
at least in the past, has
Oh,
been
look right over there on the top.
usually when a fish is
Got one
doing
looking
that,
at
there
it.
is something wrong with your
swimming by it.
presentation. Could be the fly itself, could be something else, maybe detracting from it.
I got it right in that run where I do want it to be.
I did have the split shot closer to the fly, and I think that might have caused them to spook. Later on, I moved it further up, and I did get some more interest in there, but again, the bite was slow for yours truly. Center pin fishing for pretty much half the day before I switched over back to fly fishing.
I just got to convince him to hit it. Okay. All right, where are you? I can see you guys.
You can just barely see it right over here where the cursor is.
Like.
It's the float.
Maybe I need
to
ride it up a little bit higher.
It's riding perfect with that
deep.
drift.
Let's try that. Let's make that adjustment and see what happens.
Okay, so let me go ahead and skip around because I don't think you guys want to see yours truly striking out using the center pin gear. All right. So I'm gonna bump it over. Okay. And this is upriver from Hughes Crossing, the low water crossing over there at the Blue River, Oklahoma, not the Blue River in Colorado. This is Oklahoma. And they are stocking weekly. And if you just joined, they had stocked most recently Thursday of this past week. Okay. Trying to get it where... So I initially started here, then I went further down river. And I'm trying to get to that one. Oh yeah, here we go. Here, further down river here. Okay, let me take you here real quick. Because there's something I want to call out that may be good to know for those that have never, or that have fished the Blue River in the past.
Went back to the good sign, I guess. Looks like the sandbar is back. Right over here, I could see it. Nice.
Okay, so several floods ago, there was a sandbar that had been there for years. And you can see in this video right here, you can see where the cursor is, two fishermen that are pretty much in the river itself, about way past mid-river. And that sandbar was a go-to spot for folks. You just got to make sure how you get there. Certain ways to get to that sandbar from the shore. If you go a certain way, you're going to have probably go above your chest waders. But if you go another way, you'll stay well below your chest waders. I've done it before in pants waders, but I've not done it with my and chest waders. But I would highly recommend wearing chest waders if you're going to go fish the sandbar. So, anyways, about 2-3 floods back, no more sandbar. And I'd say about 2-3 seasons, maybe longer. That sandbar was not there, and it used to be the go-to spot to kind of position yourself, specifically in this area by the low water crossing. And once you're on that sandbar, you can spend the rest of the day there, pretty much catching, releasing 50, 100 plus fish from this location. Okay. Well, that went away. Well, it's confirmed. It's back. Okay, so if you remember the sandbar in the past, and I think I wrote an article about it back way back about some certain places to fish the Hughes Crossing area. You keep it in your back pocket, wear some chest waders, and head out there and give it a try. Sandbar is back.
All right, first fish went for...
Okay. So, I'm back by the island. Island used to be bigger. Now it's not as big as it used to be. It's basically a spot in the river that kind of splits the river into two channels. And I'm standing at the head of it, and I'm fishing into this one run, channel, whatever you want to call it, this spot. And I had struck out on all kinds of flies. I did the mop fly. I switched over to different streamers, midges, nymphs. I just went across the board. I didn't do a dry fly. Ooh, man, maybe I should have did a dry fly. Anyhow, I decided to go and head down river and fish the island. And in about 2 casts, I got this guy on. But unfortunately, I ended up losing him to the rocks down below me. He went under and he was able to get off. So that was the first fish that I had actually hooked that day, or yesterday. And normally I can hook them within the first hour, if not first few minutes. This time, several hours before I got this guy. So here's yours truly catching or hooking, but losing a fish.
I think it was a Near Deere. Oh man, he got me stuck. All right, I lost him. First
Bummer.
fish was on the white Near Deere. See if I can do it again. Basically, let it drift along, keeping the line out of the water, and you'll see it kind of dip under, and that's it. Center pin, no drag free fishing. Let's see if we can coax another one to strike here in a moment.
So it's going to be brutal. It's going to take a while for me to get the first fish of the day, but it will be the biggest one I catched yesterday. But what I want to call out here is, so I went out through all these different flies, different colors, different patterns. I did see some other folks hooking up using, I think it was some egg patterns, peach, as well as a kind of purplish, whitish looking thing. That one we're getting hit. Other than that, yours truly was not doing well, except I did note that the white Near Deere I was using was getting struck, or they were looking at it more often than not. I would either get little nips or tags, or actually see it take the little float under. But unfortunately, I was just, I guess my mojo was off and I wasn't hooking them. So it was a very rough day, but I end up catching one, and I've got video proof of it. So I'm going to try getting you there real quick. All right, let's see. So
I just kind of get it back out there for now. And they
Yeah.
say you don't need to set the hook. You really just need to tighten up on your line. There's a hit. All right, we're getting hits.
That's what was happening.
No drag-free drift. Let's see if I can get him to hit it again. Come on, come on. Let's see it. It's been slim pickings all morning. Okay.
And one thing I also want to call out is all along this section here, water's about maybe a 1 to 2 foot, and then it'll drop down to probably about 3, 4 or so. Right here is a nice deep section, and there are trout all kind of moving in and out along this whole area here, back in here, even underneath these rocks, all the way back up river. And they're just kind of going in and out throughout the morning. And because I have my polarized glasses, I could see some of them reacting to what I'm presenting. And most times it was a look and a turn away, a look and a turn away. With this one that I actually catch, what I'll actually see him do is he'll start swimming past, and then he'll come back on it and he'll strike. Okay, let's keep going.
Come on, where you at? All right, let me go ahead and recast.
All right, I'm gonna go and bump it forward again. Okay, all same old here. Yours truly striking out, getting some little nips and whatnot, but bottom line, I'm not getting anything. Okay.
Oh, come on.
Let me keep going. All right. Let's see if I can bump it a little bit faster here. Okay. Oh yeah, here we go. All right, let me see if I can get it.
Times I've fished out here, so I cast in.
Okay, I'm going to just
Still
kind of
learning
tweak
this,
it
baby.
forward to get to that spot where I get that
Got
hit.
some loose spools on.
Okay. All right, here we go.
All right, finally got one. Ended up using a power worm for it.
Power worm, I thought.
Let's go and bring him in.
So one of the things I'll do is I'll fish tandem rigs. I'll have a streamer, I'll have a midge, a smaller fly. In this case, I had a streamer, and I had an egg pattern. And after a while, I was getting desperate. All right, I am a fisherman, not a purist. So in this case, I went, hey, I've got an egg pattern. It's got a hook, barb, and everything sticking out. And I've got power worms, those Berkeley power worms that are nicely scented, that usually I'll catch some nice trout that way when I'm bait fishing. So I went ahead and stuck that on there. We're not in the catch and release area, so those rules don't apply. And yours truly is actually trying to get some fish for dinner. All right. I went camping there earlier this year, or earlier in the season, and I was trying to play that game of I'm going to eat what I catch. And luckily I did catch something, so I did not starve that round. So here you're going to see where I've caught this trout. I'm bringing him in, and I'm thinking I initially got him on a power worm.
Seems to be a nice one too. Let's go on. Bring it up close and personal.
And again, there's no drag on this reel, so you have to palm it or use your pinky to kind of thumb it down or pinky it down.
But he actually went for the Near Deere. Look at that. All right, he went for the white Near Deere. Nice. Yeah, I put on a power worm and he went for this Near Deere. That's that other one that I hit earlier too. So.
Okay, and then your question about what is a Near Deere? It's basically a fly that's tied on a jig fly hook. So a little jig that's very light. And this one's a 1/80th, or I think, yeah, this is the 1/80th ounce one that I can cast no problem fly fishing. And I learned it from a Texas, Oklahoma fishing guide. He posted it back on the Texas Fishing Forum way back when. And I found it's been a very effective trout getter as well as fish getter in general. It's very close to a woolly bugger, another streamer that is more a traditional one, like a best one to start out with when you are learning how to tie, as well as a good one to learn to fish with, because it does catch everything. And in this case, it's tied very similar to that, except we've got that jig fly hook, and there's a few more variations in the material that's used. But I tie these in olive, white, pink, orange, black. I've got all those in my tackle box, or in my fly box. And then additionally, I've been trying to tie, or I've tied what I call the band fishing fly. I started this monthly lure challenge to see if I can fish a particular lure and see how the biggest fish I can catch with it. And I took it out here, and unfortunately it was slim pickings there. So it's a good thing I didn't have only the band fishing fly for this trip. Okay, so this is the second fish caught or hooked, but first one caught this morning, or actually it's more like noon. So I started around 7 o'clock. It's noonish, so 5 hours. So what's the takeaway there? Persistence. Just keep going. Just keep going. Change different things. Note some things. The takeaway here, white. They wanted that white pattern. I had gotten some initial looks, nibbles and whatnot. They all seem to be gravitating to that white color. I probably should have bought some of those producers that are available at Scotty's One Stop, because that is a fishing fly that is a killer on the blue. And one of the key things, I met the individual who ties those and originated that pattern. And there's some material that it uses that has a UV quality to it. So it looks very, very attractive to the fish when it's in the water. Okay. And I've tried replicating it, tying it myself, getting some similar material, even going by the material that was suggested. And my pattern just doesn't work as well as the original from producer tied by that individual. So yeah, I should have stopped at Scotty's and picked up some more of those. Yeah. Anyways, first fish that I caught, that turned out to be the biggest one of the 3 fish limit. It's 3 fish limit here in Oklahoma. And this one went about maybe 14 inches, but he's got some shoulders on him.
All right, cool. Well, that took a while. That definitely took a while. That helped.
Okay, so I'm just showing you some more of the area that I'm fishing. I'm on the island. I'm seeing these guys over here. They got that prime camp spot, camping spot 1, which is right up here. And if you can get it, you're basically stepping down the hill and you're fishing. When I went camping earlier this year, I was at camping spot 3. I don't know where 2 is. It goes from 1 to 3. I was at camping spot 3, which is further down river, and all I had to do was go down the hill where I was at and go up river about maybe 20, 30 yards or so, and I was back here at this spot. So these guys were doing really well. I think they were limiting out multiple, across the board with their folks that were camping. It looked like they had a really good time as well, so that was cool. Let's see, and most of the action was all up in where my cursor is, up in this area, which, knowing that you have that sandbar now, because I did see some folks later fishing on the sandbar just about right here, okay? Just fishing that prime spot. So if you do have an opportunity to make it to the Blue River, I do suggest bringing some chest waders, bringing in, oh, bear with me, my high-tech camera gear. All right, let's see, here we go. Yeah, I buy secondhand camera gear so I don't have to pay full price, because then I spent it more on the fishing stuff. Priorities, you know. Okay, so yeah, they were doing really well, and I did see some folks on this sandbar doing really well. And then what was also interesting was further upriver, there was another rocky outcropping that over the years hasn't been as good as a producer, but I saw a couple individuals there just really knocking them out. About every other cast, they were hooking them. I believe they had the right pattern. It looked like it was an egg pattern, and I believe they had the right depth. It looked like about 4 foot under the strike indicator. And kind of doing the dead drift. Just make sure that your strike indicator is following the bubble line, and you should be good to go. Other than that, well, center pin fishing was very tough for yours truly. So let me shift, and I'll take you to where now I'm shifting over back to my switch rod, or correction, my 6-weight fly rod, where I'm using a OPST Commando head that allows me to kind of, well, make it a little bit easier for to make casts in some tight areas where there's no back cast. All right, so let me go ahead and skip over, because I don't want you guys to see, let's see, the strikeout time. I mean, everyone can strike out. Let's see.
And waiting for the strike.
We skip it over.
All right.
Okay. Oh yeah, here we go. So these guys are out here fishing, and they came in through this back area over here. I would say if you wanted to fish this particular location and get to the sandbar, it's probably better that you come down through this area and this area, because you'll go up to your, just a little bit past your waist, and then you'll start feeling yourself going up as the sandbar, or as you come up to the sandbar. Okay. All right, let's just skip that real quick. Okay. Okay, so here I've gone back up river, and the individual I was talking to earlier that morning, he's over here to my left, right where the cursor is. He ends up catching some and doing quite well. It looks like he found the pattern as well. But you can see where I'm fishing underneath, where all these trees, there's some trees right behind me. I have basically no back cast, and I'm able to take advantage of this OPST Commando head, where I can do, be it some switch cast as well as some roll cast, and get my fly where it needs to be. And in this case, It's all up in this section here. They're all moving about. They're there. There's another individual who'll be fishing over here on the bank who'll get some really nice ones, fishing some, look like some bait. But I'm not getting them on my fly. All right. But let's see if I can just cut it over real quick. Bear with me. Okay.
Got it on that center pin, and I tried fishing the center pin exclusively, and it looks like, well, I'm gonna have to make a command decision. I went back to the fly rod TFO 6-weight with the OPST Skagit head. So let's see what we can do here to, what I could do to maybe get 2 more to limit out. What do you say? One of the cool things about working different parts of the blue is sometimes they'll be lurking in this really shallow water.
Okay, so I've moved downriver. I'm past the island, and I'm by these rocks, little pockets of water, a foot to 2 foot deep in some cases, but mainly, I mean, not very deep at all. I mean, you could see clearly the rocks that are in the water here. Just to the right, in this area, I would say maybe at most it's 2 foot deep, not much at all. Just upriver here, it's about maybe a foot, maybe 2 foot, maybe a 3 foot pocket somewhere. Here, what you do is I usually sight cast. All right, I have my polarized glasses and I'm looking into these different pockets and runs and pools and whatever you want to call it. And I'm looking for shadows. And here, as I was coming down river, I came along this side of the river over here and then came around and then came back up and started kind of looking, because I remember this is a good spot and there's usually something lurking there. And sure enough, I started seeing those little silhouettes or little shadows of trout kind of darting in and out all along this section here. Okay. And, you know, reason why I started this blog as well as started a blog as well as this YouTube channel was I can go back to a particular time and location and see what worked. And what I remember about this time and location is a strike indicator with a Near Deere or a streamer, and sometimes add a tandem rig to it. But for the most part, put that streamer there about 2 foot, maybe 3 foot under, and just start working these pockets. And when I say work them, what you're actually doing is you're casting at the top of the pocket or stream, and you're kind of having your indicator and the fly drift toward where the trout are lurking. So you'll see me doing that here shortly, and you actually see me hook up with one.
Okay, very shallow water, and all you got to really do is just get your fly right in front of them. Okay, in fact, you probably want to go upstream from them. All right, there's about, well, I'd say about 10 lurking right here in this spot. So if I can just kind of get the fly, come in on them, I might get them to hit it. Okay. Let's see if I, oh, yep, there's one. I just tapped at it. Okay. See if I can get them over here in the, right in this pool. If I could drift it down, a lot of times I can get them to hit it. Okay. There's one looking at it. I want to move up just a tad bit.
And the main thing here is you want to position it so that the indicator is upriver and your fly is downriver, and you're drifting it in this direction. Sort of like I mentioned earlier, trotting with your center pin float. Well, it's the same thing in this case with the strike indicator. And yes, it helps being further or upriver from the location you're trying to fish. And in this case, I'm trying to fish this pocket as well as a pool where all these trout are. There's about 10, 20 trout in there, and then they kind of go off and go somewhere else, and then you kind of wait a little bit more, and then they'll come popping back out again. All right, and you should be able to see what I do here shortly.
Get a better angle on the pool. Okay, here we go. All right, only got hip waders, so I gotta be careful. All right. Okay, there's one chasing it. Another one chasing it. Okay. Oh yeah, they're here. Just got to convince them to hit now.
And when I say they're chasing it, what's happening is I could see my fly kind of heading down river, and either they're coming up or they're back here and they're turning around trying to take a look at it. And because it's faster water, well, I don't know if it's true, but I think they're less what do you call it? Maybe QA, quality assurance. They are less, I guess, I don't know which word. Maybe I need to Google it or whatever. But they don't really care too much if your fly is not looking like the real thing. Because it's moving so fast, they're more looking at opportunity to strike and get a bite with minimal movement. And so what they're doing is they're just kind of lurking right in there, waiting for something to come within reach, and they're just kind of popping up and then hitting it. And that's what's happening in this case. Okay.
All right. No. See if I can stand up a little bit.
And you see how clear that water is.
My deal here, and see if I can. Oh yeah, I had a hit. Okay.
That was a real quick tap, and then I actually saw him kind of move at it and hit it. Let's see, thoughts about WD-40 Ascent? I've heard rumor that WD-40 is a fish attractant. I think they say it's even made with some kind of fish oils. So I've heard, and I think I've seen some YouTube videos where someone has tried it. But me, yours truly, I'm just fishing with what I got here. Alrighty. But hey, it's certainly worth a try. It doesn't hurt. All right.
It's almost like Euro nymphing, basically. Just got to get the fly in the zone.
And then notice how I'm letting the strike indicator. Believe it or not, there are some bubbles here or there, and I'm using that as an indicator on how fast I need to let that indicator float by. Okay. Trying to stay in sync with the actual water flow velocity, because, well, trout get picky.
There's one looking at it. Another one looking at it. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's get it up here. See if I can get it to.
And every once in a while, you may get a glimpse of a silhouette or some kind of deal, dark shadow kind of flitting about. That is the trout. Okay.
Come down on them pretty good. All right, here's another one. Looking at it. Come on, take it. They're just right in that current.
Okay, and you'll see how I'll just kind of do a little twitchy motion and let it drift back down again. Trout aren't bothered by it. Just keep doing that, okay, when you're working these pools.
All right, I got him.
Nice. Here, I'll go do that one again. You know, because this is only my third fish of the day.
All right, I got him.
Okay, let me do that again, because I want to point out a couple of things on this one. Okay, you see the drift?
Take it.
Okay, I do the twitch.
They're just right in that current.
Right there. You see it go under? Right. Okay, so I saw the indicator go under, and I could feel, when in doubt, set the hook. Well, that's what I did. I saw the indicator go under. I wasn't sure if he actually hit it. I thought there was some movement in the water. I just went ahead and set the hook, and lo and behold, guess what I got? I got a trout on there.
I got him. Got him. Nice.
Good stuff.
Is that a trout?
I thought it was a bass at first.
Cool. All right, well, he's not a big one, but he still counts to my daily limit. It's one of those days where you're down to your last two. Well, it's been slim pickings for me, but I'm gonna keep them. Oh man.
Yeah, it was only
All
the
right, just
second
gotta
one.
get 'em
I'm
in.
trying to get a limit.
To the creel, and we're in like Flynn. There we go.
All right, we got a call out here. Casting is mimicking bait fish. What about fly fishing? Haven't tried fly fishing. So with fly fishing, you're actually mimicking a lot of things. In this case, the Near Deere that I'm using could be a little minnow that is swimming through the water. Actually, could actually be a midge, or not midge, a nymph in its larval stage as it's breaking through. And then if you're fishing all those other patterns, the egg pattern I was using, the mop fly, which is a pattern that's supposed to mimic another stage, I believe, of a caddis. So I guess that's the versatility of fly fishing. You're not just mimicking one particular, a bait fish. You're mimicking all kinds of things. You're matching the hatch. So if they're biting on, these little bugs and whatnot flitting about, all right, go to a dry fly. If they are going for something like so, these little streamers, little bait fish, go for that as well. And then, well, you can also use like little squirmy worms like I've done before, and those little egg patterns. So it just kind of opens the door to other things that you can fish with. Additionally, you really can't fish these pools or pockets in the same manner that you can when you are doing this with fly fishing. You could probably do this same thing with a short deal of line and a tenkara rod, or one of those small little shorter tenkara rods that I've had. Same concept. You could probably do that with a bubble float with a spinning reel, or even your bait caster. That would also work. Okay, but I think fly fishing in general gives you a lot more versatility in adjusting to the conditions. They want this particular bait, they want this particular pattern, you can adjust to it. Alrighty? Hopefully that answered your question. Alright, let's keep going.
Alright. See if we can do it again. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm working the indicator, and I kind of want to be upstream from them so I can kind of jig the fly in front of the pool. There's a pool here and here. It's about maybe 3 feet deep, and there's about 10 of them kind of lurking right in here. Okay, and if I can just keep it in the zone and kind of do one of these jiggy motions here, I might be able to coax one to run out and pop it as it goes down, like I just did on that one. Okay, I see another one kind of lurking below. Okay, there's probably some up here too that I could probably go for, but oh no. Okay, got some rocks, a lot of rocks here.
Okay, so one takeaway there is I just hooked into what I thought was a rock, and then I flip out of there, and well, you'll see here in a moment.
Okay, so I'm gonna drop it ahead. I'm just gonna let it sink into the pool and watch for any indication of a strike, as well as I'm gonna keep kind of jigging it up and down, taking it up river and then sending it back down again. Okay, and I know there's at least 10 kind of lurking here. I just gotta convince them to come out and pop it. I got one so far. Let's see if we can get another one. Let's run it a little bit further down. Okay, let me give it a little bit more line. Okay, right into this little pocket, and yet you'll pretty much see them, or you'll see your strike indicator definitely go under. And I've done it before where I've come out here with more than, oh wait a minute, I just lost my fly. Holy cow, no wonder I didn't get anything. Let's go do that over. Okay, this next one is a tandem.
So yeah, remember what I just mentioned where I thought I hooked into something and I pulled, and lo and behold, I lost my fly. Okay, so I'm going to switch and put on another, I believe another Near Deere, And this time I'm going to actually put a midge on the end of it, a rainbow warrior, okay? And it's a very small size 18 hook midge. And I believe it or not, caught a 20-inch trout up at the Lower Mountain Fork on that similar pattern, a little rainbow warrior midge.
Rig, tandem rig, rainbow warrior, and a white Near Deere. And I'm going to see if I can coax them to strike again by just kind of drifting it into the pool.
Okay, and you see this is the perfect position for doing this presentation when you're working a pool. Is I'm at an angle, I've got a lot more room to either cast up or back across that particular location, and I can control the drift of that strike indicator, which then controls the drift of my fly. In this case, 2 foot's working, 3 foot's working under the indicator. Yeah, about 3 foot with the water flow and whatnot. Rule of thumb, I think it's whatever the depth of the water is, double it. That's your starting point, and then adjust from there to make sure that you are fishing at the depth you want. In this case, I want the fly to kind of drift closer to the bottom, and I want it to be presented first, and that's why I'm fishing upriver and fishing down into the pool itself. Okay, and then keep in mind, when in doubt, set the hook. Also, notice that as I'm here this year, I can see that from this water level, if things get stained and we get a lot of rain and runoff, and I'll remember this location, just kind of mark off some points, landmarks, to just know that I am on the right spot, as well as note this rock that I'm on. So when it gets all murky and everything, I can still fish this and try fishing those trout that'll stack up here when the rains hit. And I mean, it's like cream colored coffee one year. It was brown all over. You couldn't see anything, but if you knew this spot was there and you fished it in this manner, in this case, I think someone was using a pheasant tail nymph. I was using a Near Deere as well as a gold rib hare's ear nymph, and that was what was connecting. And neither of us could see this location. We just remembered it over the years. Okay, so let's go ahead and remember, when in doubt, set the hook.
Like so. Okay, and we just keep bringing it back and forward. See if we can coax them to strike. Just got to take advantage of these little pools and all that and kind of work them. Because a lot of times there are some trout or two lurking down below that'll give you an opportunity to get you a fishy or two. Okay. Alright, I don't see anything right now lurking, but it could be in the pool. Alright, I thought I saw a glimpse of something. I'm going to drift it down. Okay, I'm not seeing it. Let's go move down a little bit. Okay. Alright, I'm not sure if there's anything here yet or if they've moved on, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of drift my tandem rig into it and see if I can coax one to strike, if there is one lurking below. Okay. Right. Kind of just move it up and down, let it drift down. Okay. Let me move back a little bit in case they're over here.
And I've seen it before where there'd be 5, 6 of these trout just kind of lurking all in this rough patch of water, just right in there, just kind of waiting for something to go by. In this case, I didn't see anything, but hey, I got to check it out. You gotta try, you know.
Yep, definitely have to work it. I don't see anything back here again. Let me just cast it out again, just in case another one came down. Nope, not seeing it. Oh, okay, I see one. Okay, okay. There's one in the run right now. I just got to convince him to strike now. See if his buddy's there too. Come on, let's see it. See if he'll hit a tandem rig. Oh, there's another one over here in the pool. I see at least two now. All right, I'm gonna work it down in there. Okay.
And what's happening is I'll see them kind of swim from this direction here, and then kind of hover, and then they'll dart back into this, and then they'll come back up again. And what's weird, I think one year I used to see them make this kind of circle. All right, they go down here, kind of lurk here a little bit, and then they start coming up this section, then come back down again. I don't know why they were doing that. This year they were just kind of just showing up, and I would get a glimpse of them as they went by.
Just kind of this jiggy motion here. No. Okay, no takers there. Let's pop it up forward in case there's one lurking out here willing to pop it. Okay. Let's do it again.
And when I cast up river in this direction, and I'm trying to fish where I really want to fish downriver, what I'm mainly doing here is if I get a strike, typically what will happen is as soon as I cast up river and it hits the water, the fly, I'll see something kind of dart out and pop it. That's usually when I get a hit when that happens. Other times I'll see it as it's coming down river. I'll see the fly, I'll see the trout come up and do one of those kind of swipes at it where he's trying to get it. And sometimes I get him, sometimes I don't. That's fishing.
Okay. And you definitely want your fly to be drifting ahead of your indicator. So it's like you're fishing downstream. Okay, I see 2, 3 lurking in below. Ah, man. They were there and then they moved out. I can see them. Let me just get in a better position. Okay, if I can get it right down to them, I might have a chance at them hitting.
And my fishing rod, my fly rod is 9 foot. So you can kind of guesstimate how far I am from these trout. I've had it before where I'm standing in the river and a trout just shows up, actually swims by my feet, if not between my legs. I had a nice 3-4 pounder one year that kept lurking in this area right after one of the trout derbies where they stock it with some big trout. Yeah, so step lightly when you're in the river. You may spook something that you probably could have caught within a rod's length.
Come on, come on. Okay, they're back up here again. These guys are definitely mobile. Oh, shoot. I gotta be careful here.
And you can see how clear the water is.
Below. All right. Had something tap that one. Okay. Little tap. And just let it work our way down. Okay. Oh, right there. Right there. Strikeadelic. We are on. Oh, he was foul hooked though. All right, do over. Okay.
Yeah, I foul hooked.
All we'll do is just kind of drift it up, and you'll feel them pop it.
All right, so that was it for the rocks. I did move further down river just to kind of explain this. Let me show you that, and then we'll shift back up river where I ended up fishing and getting my limit. All right, so right now I've got 2 in the bag. I've lost them. Lost the first one I caught that morning. Caught and kept the second one, second fish that I hooked, and then I caught and kept this third one that I just caught here in the rocks using this method, and then I just lost this guy foul hooked, but I wasn't really trying to land him since I foul hooked. I'm like, it doesn't count. And then now I'm hoping that I can get number 3, because in Oklahoma it's a 3 trout limit, daily limit. All right. Okay, so let's take you here. Okay.
And the main thing you want to do is just kind of work your way up there, and then kind of drift your fly into that pool, as well as you can usually get one to strike every so often out of this fast water. I had some hits on dries before. All right, let me put this baby back on. Okay, so we're looking for the last trouts of the day. All right, let me see if I can coax the fly into the pool area. Okay. All right, I'm gonna dump it in the fast water and see if I can get one to strike there. Okay. Just kind of let it swing in the fast water, and it'll kind of come to a stop or a little eddy.
And so when I say I'm fishing this fast water, when I'm using the strike indicator with a streamer, what I'm doing is I'm casting into it, and I'm actually going to let it swing down current. Because in the past, as you swung down current, there'd be 3 to 4 trout lurking in this one particular pocket that's right back in here. And you can't see it in this video, but when I was there previously, there was a nice little pocket, not about the size of a 5-gallon bucket. And in there were usually 3-4 trout just kind of waiting, just sitting there out of the current, waiting for anything to go by. And when I would cast upriver, let it swing down, it was the perfect position for that fly to end up in that bucket. Okay. Nope. Let's get back up again here. It ended up in that bucket, and those guys would just come up and pop it. Okay. So that seemed to be a method that worked in the past. So guess what? You got to try it again, of course. All right. And let's see. The other thing is, if I use a dry fly and you cast up here, right over here, just under this log outcropping, and let it drift at the same speed as that current. It's going to go fast. You got seconds basically. You cast into it and just let it sweep down current, cast again, and do the same. There have been times where I've gotten trout just immediately, as soon as that fly hits the water or just moves a foot or so down, bang, I'm getting hit. But it usually works with a dry fly. If I'm using the strike indicator with that streamer, I'm really just swinging the current at this point. But if I really wanted to fish this and just make sure, I would probably put on a dry fly, little black midge. Let's see, what was the other one? Griffith's gnat, and just kind of get it right in there and let it drift down. And you'll just out of nowhere, one of these guys will just pop out of nowhere and pop it. Okay, so right there, and then back in here is, I call it a pool as well. It's about maybe a 1.5 feet deep, and I think the rocks have kind of moved over the years, but it still kind of have like a little depression in there, and it kind of circles around a little bit. I've caught trout in there in the past, usually when I'm staging over here where the river splits again into a fork or 2 channels. Okay.
Okay. No takers there. Okay, it's running a little bit. Okay. And here, a lot of times they're like opportune feeders, so it's like, oh wow, it's like something goes by and they're hungry, they're gonna really hit it fast. So one moment you're thinking it's a done deal, you're not gonna get anything. The next moment you got one on the line. Okay. Just kind of work it more down this one pool area. Okay. Oh, no, that was a snag. Okay, right over here is a little corner deal. You can actually stand in there about up to your thighs. And I've had it before when they stuck the big trout. Had like a 3 to 4 or 5 pounder come up right by my legs. Right.
And what I'm saying is right over here where my cursor is, little shadow, I was standing right there, and I had a big trout just show up out of nowhere, swim by, and well, he didn't go for my fly, but luckily, just in this area, you hear that pool or depression I was talking about. I ended up getting a number of trout that were wanting to play that day.
On my feet. All right. But here I'm just gonna work the fly and see if I can coax one to come out and pop this thing. Okay. Doesn't look like we're getting that opportunity today, but let's go back into the pool here. I'm gonna run it down again. Looks like there's a lot more rocks in it though. Or maybe I just miscalculated it. Just go ahead and drift it down. It definitely helps having an indicator. Actually, here, let's go throw it into the water. And just let it bumble on down. See if we get one to hit. I had one before where it would come to the end of this drift and there was a little pocket. And these trout were lurking there and I would hook them up there. That was pretty cool. I'm just going to keep working this fast water here. Let it work its way down, see what happens. And then, and while we're doing this, we're going to let that one pool rest for a few more minutes here before we go back up. Oh. Nope, that's a snag. That's a snaggle. Bummer. See if I can salvage my fly. No, that one's hooked in good. Let's see if I can break off. Let's see it. Yep, broke off. Got the retie. Do over. All right, I'm back in business. Got it retied. Went with the olive Near Deere. The other white Near Deere had some hits, but I actually got them on the olive Near Deere. And I skipped the trailing midge because, well, it's just one more thing that I could possibly hook into that I don't want to hook into. So,
okay, and one thing to point out here, you can't really see, but if you saw upriver as well as where I'm looking right now, that reflection, you can't really see down below. It looks like it's all muddy possibly. It's not. It's crystal clear. It's as clear as I'm seeing these rocks. You're just, that angle from the reflection, you can't see it. So if you just kind of move over left or right, you can see in what's lurking in the river. And later on, as I walk up, I'll just slowly walk up. I'm heading back to the island at this point. I'm going to try my luck there. But when I'm heading back there, I'll just walk this particular location, just kind of step lightly, keep looking ahead of me, and at times I'll see either pockets of trout or, I think in this case, I had a nice bass kind of lurking in one of the pockets. And there's one particular location I'll show you later where it was 1 year where I pretty much used every single fly in my fly box. And what happened was I would say 100 trout were lurking in this one area, and they were all sipping on something that I did not know about, but I later learned from the Blue River fly fishers in their DVD of 6 flies for the Blue River. I ended up getting that DVD, and I use some of those patterns still today. All right. In fact, here, let me go grab it real quick just to show you what I mean. They were selling them over there at Scotty's, and I was there one season, and I said, "Hey, let's go ahead and grab this right there, little DVD." It's got Barry Schrader is his name. He's one of the well-known fishermen of the Blue River. All right. Pretty cool. All right. And it's got 6 flies. Pretty awesome. And yeah, I still use them today. Cool beans. All right. Let's get back to it.
let's go back to this pool. We let it rest a little bit. So let's see if we can coax another one of these guys to come up and hit it. Okay.
So I don't get any hits, but you can see I was telling you about the reflection. That's all clear water. Very clear. And then right over here, I just got a glimpse of it. a trout just swam by right underneath my rod right here. Just barely went by. Let me see if I can get it. Let's see.
Another one of these guys to come up and hit it. Okay.
Ah, man, I missed it.
Guys to come up and hit it. Okay.
I missed it, but I saw that kind of telltale of a trout body go by. Okay, and that's how close they are. You got to keep sweeping the area. Sort of like when you go hunting and you're plinking, you kind of scan the area around. I used to go hunting and I'd be always looking for rattlesnakes as I'm walking. So I'd do a scan. I'd be like, let's go look forward, look down below, look forward, look down below, and just kind of clear your area and be known or aware of your surroundings. And hey, sure enough, you may find a trout by your feet. Much better than a rattlesnake. That's another story. Okay.
I'm just going to work it right into the pool again. And just kind of jigging it up and down.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can get us to where I'm moving up river. Yeah, here we go. All right, so it looks like it's pretty clobbered, meaning it's murky and all that, but it's crystal clear. It's just getting later in the day. But if you see by my right here, you can see the rocks. Yeah, you'll see that all the way up to the island. Okay, and this is what's left of the island. It used to be a lot bigger. Now it's much smaller. All right. There are still some good places to fish over here, and you can see some other guys. I was telling you about the sandbar. They're right here on top of that sandbar, mid-river, just casting away, and they're doing well. They're catching some trout. I'm not.
Any lurking, because I've had it before where they're in these different spots as well, kind of hanging out, looking for something tasty to strike.
All right, I'm gonna try.
Glass two of them.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
So you see how clear the water is? Here,
and seeing if I can look.
So right here, it's shallow. Right here is a pocket that drops off. So it'll go for about maybe 1 foot, and then it dips to 2, and then it'll quickly rise back up again. And what you're looking for is shadows, little shadows, silhouettes. You're not going to see a whole trout kind of all of a sudden appear. Instead, you'll kind of see a shadow, a little... I guess oblong looking pattern, and take a little closer look at it and you might even see the fins undulating and whatnot. So hey, keep a close eye and definitely have polarized sunglasses.
Okay, another one. I'm gonna stay on the edges where it's shallow and we'll let that spot rest for just a little bit more. I see a bunch of these little fishies.
Little fishies about the size of the Near Deere, the fishing fly that I'm using. So match the hatch.
In the water. Little sculpin looking things or minnows. And what I like doing is I'll kind of work this area slowly, looking for maybe the onesie twosies kind of lurking in the shallows here.
Okay, and then so there's a phenomenon in the Blue River where a hatch will occur with these real microscopic midges. When the temperatures are below freezing and then it rises above freezing, it'll trigger this hatch. And these little tiny black midge deal with a little, well, you tie it with a size 16, 18, size 20 hook with some black tying thread, Dacron tying thread, and just a sliver of Antron to give it a little air bubble. Okay, you kind of tie it in there crossways, so it's more like a T, and you cast it in that hatch in that particular situation, and you'll be hooking. Well, you may hook a lot, but you may also lose a lot because it's a little tiny fly, and that little hook is tough to keep in them when you're trying to land them. So you definitely want to have a net. But anyways, during that time, I had no clue about this hatch. I saw a bunch of these trout, about 100, all in this area here. I just looked downriver and just saw these guys all looking in the current, kind of waiting for something to go by. And every so often they kept coming up and they'd be kind of slurping something. They didn't actually go out of the water. They would just be just subsurface. You would kind of just see them eating something, and I had no clue what it was. And I carry an aquarium net now, so I can sweep the river and kind of check to see what kind of bugs and whatnot are there. I didn't have that, but I did have about 50 fishing flies, and I used every single one of them. I had several hits, but they were all based on size. The smallest ones I had were the ones I was getting hits on. Other than that, nothing else. And I'd say about, I think it was maybe a week or two later that I was up there and I got that DVD, and lo and behold, there it is. That's what they were eating. So now I carry dimpling. All right, cool, dimpling. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. I've got it right here. Okay, so this is my, let's go back here. All right, this is my one fly box that I have. I got several. Right in here, I don't know if you can see that well. Okay, let me see if I can. There we go. Okay, right here is that little fly. Very small. And this is on a size, I believe a size 20 hook. Okay. Let me try getting in closer and see if you can get it. There it is. That's it. Right there. A dry fly hook. It's size 20. It's black midge, kind of tied in a midge-like pattern or silhouette. Man, I don't think I can get you a good view of it. All right. And that's what they were eating. Okay. Wow. It was very tough. But anyways, that's what they were eating. Okay. Little Antron thread. So 2 pieces of material to fish or to tie it. And guess what? That has been one that I keep in my dealie. Scuds. All right, cool. Scuds. All right. And that happens on a below freezing day, and it just has to rise a few degrees above freezing, and it'll trigger this hatch. It's like, they just start popping and popping, and just be ready. If you see them doing that dimpling, then guess what? Man, can't tie those itty bitties. Yeah, they're getting a little tough. I'm gonna try tying some really small size 20 and size 20 black midges, dry flies, later on this weekend, or later on, not today, but probably during the week. And yeah, I'm gonna give it a try. My eyes are not so great right now either. All right. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so this whole time I'm looking, I'm scanning. User error here, sorry. There we go.
Casting upriver from them, and then you're having the fly. Oh, there's one chasing it. Okay. That was either a trout, a little trout, or a bass. Let me see if I can kind of coax it along again. And what I find that helps is by doing this and letting it drift down, it gives it time to sink. Get it to the money zone, I call it. Okay. All right, let's move up forward. Again, I'm gonna stay on the edges. Got to be careful here. I might get into some deep water again. Certainly don't want to do that.
Yeah, I only have my hip waders. I didn't bring in the pant waders or the chest waders. There is one particular spot that is a dunking if you're not careful. And what's saving me right now is I got the polarized glasses. But as you can see, if you didn't have polarized glasses, you can kind of judge what's ahead of you. Additionally, I carry a wading stick. I've fallen in 2-3 times now in the blue during fishing fishing the Blue River. The first time was because I didn't have a wading stick, and I ended up breaking it, or not breaking it. I ended up getting a dunking, and luckily I had a change of clothes. And then during that same trip, I grabbed a piece of dead wood, and it's up here now. In fact, I'll go get it. All right, it's right here. Okay, this piece of wood, some athletic tape, a little lanyard here, and a deal here, and I used that for many years, and then it broke right there. Okay, so ever since then, I repurposed some walking sticks, and now I use it as a wading stick, because that was only $9.99 at Academy versus the 100+ other ones. It's not as good, meaning it doesn't collapse. I had to actually duct tape it in place so it doesn't slide on me, but it certainly does the work that I need, and it won't break from getting rotted out over so many seasons. And I do have a little clip on it that I'll clip onto my fly fishing vest and just kind of flip it over me so that I always have it in hand. Do you use indicators or just a floating line to let you see the take? I'm using an indicator in this particular location, or this method, or in this situation. I will use a floating line as the indicator at times, but that's usually when I notice they want more movement in the fly. A lot of time, or in the presentation. So when they just want a dead drift, I'll definitely stick with a strike indicator. When it's a mix between, are they going for the dead drift, or they want some movement or more movement than just a twitch, then I will take the indicator off, and I'll start fishing it either short pull retrieves or little twitchy motions, just to kind of give that little darting action to the fly and trigger a strike. And then if they start slowing down again, a lot of times I'll then use my end of my floating line as a strike indicator. Right? Ski poles work well. All right, cool. Once these walking sticks finally go under, I may pick up some ski poles. I think I saw some the other day when I was going by the Goodwill, so I'm sure I can get something for under $9.99, or maybe $9.99. All right, good one. I like that one. Thanks, James. All right, let's keep going.
It's a good thing it's not freezing temperatures right now. All right, just kind of working my way up here, looking for shadows and potential trout. All right, let's go back up here. Kind of work it down. Okay.
And I think in one of my old videos, I was working this particular location, and another hatch happened, and I switched over to a dry fly, a little black midge. Hence, that's why I'm going to be tying some more. And they were all up along this section here, right along the bank. I just kept seeing these little black things start popping on the surface, and then a bunch of these trout popping away at them. So after about 5-10 minutes of not getting anything, and all the action was happening here, I went ahead and switched to a dry fly cast there, and lo and behold, I was able to get some more. And back then the limit was 6 trout, so you definitely had to work a lot more to get them, versus the tree trout limit now, even though it took me all day to get them. All right. And then over here, this is the island. There's a deadfall, a tree that got stuck here many years ago. It's right there. And then right here are these two guys that are working, fishing that sandbar. Okay.
Nope. Okay. All right. Yeah, there was one year it was all flooded and it was all murky, but man, I was tearing them up on doing this same technique, and I was using a gold rib hare's ear nymph, and Having a good old time catching them here. And again, it's shallow. It's pretty shallow water. There's some deep pockets and whatnot, but it's, for the most part, it's shallow. All right. All right, coming up again on a, let's see, some more holes. Oh, there's a bass here. I wonder if a bass will hit. He's right in this pool.
He's right here, and it's about maybe 2, maybe 3 foot deep right here, and he's just kind of lurking in there. He's probably 16, 17-inch bass. All right, and he's just kind of hanging out there, not wanting to strike my fly.
Huh. Yeah, I wonder if he would hit. Let me go up forward of it and see if I can coax this fly down in front of his nose, maybe. Convince him that he's hungry. Okay. All right, it's coming down. Nope, he didn't look at it. He didn't want it. All
Denied.
Right. Well, that's interesting. Mr. Bass. Okay. Again, just looking in these different pools for, in different pockets for trout activity.
Okay, and then right up here is a nice deep, it's like the tail end of this channel or run that's up here. And there are some trout lurking there. That's what I was trying for. In fact, the one that I caught earlier was over here on this side, and I was fishing up here on the island.
Okay, I thought I saw something. No. All right. Let's work this one spot here real quick.
Okay, right in front of me is a deep pocket. Okay, if I step there, I'm going below my hip waders. All right, let's go ahead and move it up a little.
Back up here by the pool. Okay, let's go back over here. Back up here by the pool, or by the main part of the river. Okay, little guy.
Okay, so I had just gotten up there. I turned off the camera and I cast out here, and a little guy hit it. All right, that would have been the third one, my limit of the day, but you'll see why I didn't keep him.
He's a little guy. I think it's like that one that I just caught over there earlier. All right. Man, this would make 3 right here, but he is really small. I'm gonna let him go. All right. Well, we technically limited out, but hey, let's keep going. Let's see if I can get. All right, we're trying to get the last one, last keeper. I let that last one go, so that would have been a limit, but I think I can try getting one more maybe, because they're moving about, and if I can get one more to maybe bigger than that last one, might be able to call it a true limit, take-home limit, because that's what I'm having for dinner tonight. Is I'm gonna broil it, broiled trout.
Okay, and as I said, the sandbar is back. You can see these individuals right here. They're on the sandbar proper, and they're fishing, and they're actually catching some fish. I mentioned earlier further upriver, but downriver from the crossing, there was a spot to stand on. It's on these 2 rocks here, but more a little bit further in the river. You're just like an inches of water, if not out of the water, on these rocks, and they were killing them up here earlier that day as well.
Okay. Just kind of work the indicator slowly.
Okay, I could see some movement out in the distance.
Definitely fun
right
working that one pool earlier, but let's see if we can convince another Mr. Troutus to strike, because they are definitely moving about now.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and skip over.
All right, let me go ahead and recast this one out.
Okay.
Mr. Fish. That last hit was over here on this side, and I was hoping to get one more over there at the pool.
I'm just gonna skip it over, try getting to that last one I caught for the limit.
Those rocks on my left, maybe they're coming in. Set of floods or something, and fish or two is crossing.
All right, I'll just keep skipping it over.
But let's go back out. And let's see, where's the indicator?
And I think it's about
I don't see the indicator. I lost sight of it.
4:30.
Oh, there we go.
So it's getting later in the day.
No, I don't see it. Oh, okay. Now I see it. Wow. Okay. Oh, there's a big bass right here. Holy cow.
Yeah, I'm by the that deadfall, and there's like a big bass right there.
Well, I guess we'll cast over there. Okay.
All right. This individual just caught something. Here, let me go back over here.
Sink a little. Wonder if I need to take the indicator off.
This individual, he's on the sandbar itself.
In the day, it seemed like they wanted more movement.
And you can see he's wearing chest waders, so yep, hint, you want to have chest waders.
Okay.
Right there. You see him?
All right. Let's just...
Right here. So there's one individual here. He's bringing one in right now.
Cast a little bit over this.
And yeah, there's trout all up in this whole area. But for some reason, this seems to be where they're congregating. Right in here. All the way up to right by these, right over here to my left, and all the way up here. Okay?
This way. Okay.
All right, let me go in.
Bit.
Oh yeah, this is where I
looks kind of dark right now, but I'm darker because of my glass in the river. Switch out. Watch. See how that.
Trying to get us to that one trout.
Bring it in. A lot of times right there's another one moving about. A lot of times I get strikes like really close. Okay.
So this is where I'm fishing without the strike indicator. This is what worked for me last time. I'm getting a couple where I'm casting and kind of doing a little twitch or short pull retrieves. This time I didn't get anything. It was all with the indicator. When the fish scuds with short pulls, I just use a line, shoots forward, set. All right, cool.
Let's go pop it out that way. Let it sink. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'll start twitching it in. Let's see if we can get that last trout of the day.
Yeah, I didn't get any. I had to go back to the indicator. So let's go and skip over again.
Pop it. 1, 2. Oh man, there's one over there jumping.
Yeah, they're jumping. Something's starting to hatch. That's the big one. Okay. Something's starting to.
Maybe they want more movement, so I'll give it.
Well, they're gonna start feeding on.
Pull retrieve here. I'll hit that. Come on, come on. Let me take it.
Switch it over. Yeah, there's a lot of
see something bubbling
time
up.
where I don't have anything.
What it is. Maybe see if I can get another. Whew, I was worried about that.
Here we go. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, yeah, I've got the indicator on.
Coming up. I mean, you can see them moving about. Right there. We got a jumper. Oh, we got a jumper over here in front of me too. Let's get it out there. Okay. Let's see if we can coax them to hit. Come on. We're moving about. All right, there's another one. Wow. Ah, there we go. I got him. I got him. I think he's bigger than that little guy. Yeah, he's bigger. I mean, he's not as big as that first one, but he's definitely bigger than the one that I let go a moment ago. Okay, so this will make a limit. So that said, I got a limit. You know what that means, since we still have some light. I think I should maybe see if I can get another one to strike while I got the chance. This one will be a catch and release. Okay. All right, let me just get the shooting head out. Okay. That was cool. I like that. I like it when they do that. And that's where I saw some surface activity. I basically cast the surface activity. Where there's activity, cast toward it. That's a good rule of thumb. All right, let's pop it out. Okay, a little bit further out there. Definitely see some movement. All right, over there. What do you say? Let me see if I can get it over there. All right. I gotta take up a lot more line. I definitely got that. Oh, wait, there's one right there. Let's pop it right here. See if we can convince them to strike. That's probably what's gonna happen. You know, you've been fishing all day, only got onesie twosies, and then all of a sudden the bite's gonna be on. The evening bite. Okay. Let me pop it back in here. I saw something jumping earlier too. Right back in the channel.
So they're all around this whole area.
You want to call it.
And later on, you'll start seeing these things kind of popping on the surface.
Whew, I was worried about that.
Let me see if I can bump us forward.
Let's get it out there. There we go. Hatching. Can't
so
tell what
you
it
might
is.
see some of these things starting to hatch.
I better check this. I may have. All right.
All right.
Took up all the line here. Shoot, I could have got that one out further. Perils of fishing an OPST Skagit head. Sometimes you got to make sure you have enough line out to shoot because it'll shoot. Yeah, what happened there is it'll cut short on you because you ran out of line basically. Oh man, I'm glad I got that one. All right. Get that one out there. Okay. Playing with it. Maybe that explains those coming. It's one more to something. Camera needs to be right in there. Yeah, if I see what it is, I'll try catching one. Blue River Trout. Just a little bit to the left of it.
Okay.
Let's get your release to close it out. Let's do it. Blue River Trout. Oh.
Missed him.
It took it just a slightly under. It took it. Shake. Just a little bit to the left of it. Let's see. Just a little bit to the left of it. Let's see if I can coax it in closer to where he bubbled. Come on. All right, come on.
Around the distance, you can see some more movement
behind it. Oh, look at that! Yeah, they're feeding on something. They are definitely feeding on. There's a hit. Yeah, yes. I knew it. All right, this is a catch and releaser, and he'll probably be bigger than the one I just caught. Oh no, he's about the same size. Yeah, Blue River Trout, Troutus.
Okay, and that's pretty much what happened for the rest of the evening. About another, I'd say another 30-40 minutes. I kept at it, and I believe I got a couple of more. No big bruisers or anything, but about that size. I guess takeaway here is if I kind of maybe paid attention more and figured out what was actually hatching and what they were feeding on, I should have probably shifted over to that instead of fishing still below the surface with this strike indicator and this Near Deere or streamer pattern. All right. So with that, appreciate you guys joining, looking at the questions and whatnot that came in comments. Really love that. Looking at the poll. Let's see what the poll says. And the poll. Okay. Survey says 73% have not fished the blue river in Oklahoma, and 27% fished the blue of those that answered the poll. So, hey, cool news, or cool, 30 votes. All right, well, appreciate the support, even though you're not in, not fished the area. If you are in the area, do give it a try. Some key takeaways, I would say, from a regulation standpoint, if you're a non-resident, there are some new rules now where you have to do an online check-in and check-out when you fish the Blue River and some other locations in the state. The other thing to keep in your back pocket is when it comes to coverage, it could be limited. So luckily you can check in days before you fish, and you have 24 hours after that to check out from what you've entered into the online form. Okay. Let's see. Hey man, I think I saw you walk by the river on Saturday. Your videos helped me catch a bunch of. Oh, nice. All right, cool. Thanks, Jacob. Appreciate it. Rainbows. All right, yeah. That's why I make these videos. 2 reasons. One, a journal so I can remember what I did before and hopefully cap on what I learned as well as avoid some of those mistakes. Additionally, learn to fish by my trials and errors so that, well, you don't have to make those same mistakes. And always glad to hear that folks were able to catch a fish or two and maybe some of my tips helped. All right. Thanks, Jacob. All right. And if you see me out on the river, certainly say howdy. I did meet some folks this first trip. Patrick with the poacher and Richard back over there at Scotty's. Jason, of course, at Scotty's. And then last time, Brian from, I believe, in Allen also. City of Allen here in Texas. And then this last trip, Jonathan. All right. Always good to meet y'all. All right. All for now. Next time I'll catch y'all later. And good luck and good fishing.